Okay, Podge, I said there's not long left in the season, but still a good chunk of the season left. But I think it's a good time to have a catch up with yourself as the skipper. How do you think the season has been so far?
Probably inconsistent. Some really, really big moments and good moments for us in the season, which shows what we're capable of doing. And then obviously there's been some really difficult moments as well, which is, we are a young team and we're learning, but we've got to learn very quick at times. And we've got 7 big games left now, coming towards the end of the season, and the big thing for me in those 7 games is trying to put in good performances as a team to make sure that we're okay for next season and all that, but also to give back to the supporters what they've been fantastic for us this year. Win, lose or draw, I feel like we've been backed the whole way. There's probably moments where they've backed us, but maybe they could have turned the wrong way. But it shows how good a set of supporters they are, that they have backed us the whole way. Even at the back of the Cork game, obviously there was a bit of frustration, rightly so, because it's a game that we shouldn't lose in my opinion. But then at the very end, there's real signs of encouragement from them, and they're showing encouragement towards the players and trying to get us there. And we spoke about going into that Cork game, about how big a game it was, because when you don't have one for 3 weeks, you're sitting and you're stewing on it for that period of time. So look, we've 7 games left, and we want to give everything we have in those games to make sure that the club is in a good position. And it might have been an inconsistent season, but if we can finish on a high, it might make it a little bit more positive coming into the next season.
You mentioned that gap of 3 weeks in between the last game against Cork and the upcoming game against Bohs. How important is it as a team when things haven't been going right before the break, but how important is that 3 weeks to be able to put things right off the pitch for the team?
It's frustrating, believe it or not, because you're sitting there, as I said, waiting for 3 weeks for a game, and all you want to do is play games. When you get a positive result, it's easy to sit there and have those 3 weeks, and you're coming in off the back of a win. But in football, generally, there's always a game very, very quickly afterwards. But it's just frustrating when there's none for 3 weeks. But it does give us opportunities on the pitch and to work hard on different things, whether it be bit of fitness, bit of fitness on players who are coming back from injury, bit of tactical work, and then just getting other stuff out for the rest of the players as well. So we've learned a lot about ourselves, I think, in the last couple of weeks. It's been a couple of weeks of really good training, and I'm hoping we can bring it into the next series of games. As I said to you, we can finish the season on a high.
For yourself, just personally, we can go back to the team as a whole in a minute, but for yourself personally, it has been a fruitful season. Top scorer in the league, you're just coming off a Player of the Month performance as well. Does that stuff matter to you?
Not particularly. Only reason it matters is if it's contributing to the team, in that sense. And look, I feel like I have been contributing to the team this year, but again, it's not an individual show or anything like that. It's a group effort. I said this before: the goals I score, I can only score goals if the ammunition is good, and it has been decent enough this year. I probably could have another couple of goals as well, but look, it is what it is. So no, look, it is a team sport. I'll always put the team above myself as an individual, and the individual stuff, when it comes, it's nice to get the recognition and all that, but it's nothing you go out and crave to do. When you sign up to be a professional footballer, you're signing up for a team sport. You're signing up to be all in this together. I'd much prefer if we were successful as a team than being as an individual, because then things come along themselves after that. And it's there's a lot of credit needs to go to like the ammunition I've been getting this year, as I said, which has been very good.
You're a real club captain, both on and off the pitch. I feel like you have a real connection to what's going on and off the pitch. You mentioned the fans yourself. There was something I noticed after the Cork game. You listened. You listened afterwards. Everyone is not always happy. That's football. But you actually stood there and listened to what the fans had to say. Do you think that's a very important part of your role?
I think so, yeah. I think everyone has to listen, because we're all well able to stand there and listen when the congratulations are coming, and we all want that adulation from the supporters and from everyone when you're getting it. So it's very easy to stand and do that, and it's more difficult to stand when the criticism is coming, but you've got to listen to it. Look, they're there watching a game. They're paying good money to go to watch these games. They've been doing it all year. So you've got to take it on the chin, whether it's good, bad or indifferent, whatever it is, whether you value the opinion or you don't value the opinion, it makes no difference. You've got to accept it. And you know, that's something that I feel that, you know, as the club captain, that, you know, I'm not obviously not happy to do it, but it's something you have to do. And you know, the supporters are rightly so being able to give their own opinion, and it's probably more important when people do listen to it as well, because it makes the connection more organic. And it doesn't feel like it's a forced connection then between players and supporters. And as I've said, I think the supporters have been brilliant this year for us. They've been excellent every game that they've been at, no matter, you know, whether it was up in Derry when things were gone really, really poorly for us, or in Galway when things were going fantastically for us in the 4-2 win. And then obviously the home fans have been, you know, where the majority have been there all season has been brilliant.
And lastly then, like, listen, I've said previously, it's been a season of ups and downs, peaks and troughs, good and bad, but there's still a lot of football to be played. There's still 7 games left. Is that something that you've talked about during this few weeks off and gone, look lads, there is 7 games left, let's hit this hard?
Yeah, look, it is, it's nearly a whole series of games left, and look, it's about creating a little mini league for ourselves and trying to finish as high up in that mini league as possible. Finish high enough in that, everything is okay, and people are probably writing us off now at the moment, and look, that's up to them, and we've got to use that as a bit of motivation. But obviously personal pride comes into it as well for us. We want to get, you know, we've 3 big games coming up in a 7-day period, and then that leads into 4 games with 3 at home. But the last 4 games of the season, 3 of them have been at home. So we want to make sure that we're in a good position going into those, and again, those last 4 games of the season, they're big games for everyone, but you have a situation where you can maybe affect what's happening with European places for other teams, but also it gives you an opportunity where, again, for our supporters who've been brilliant this year, to give them 3 really big games in that last period of time, obviously with the Rovers game before that as well. So yeah, look, we're looking forward to the last 7 games of the season. We want to finish off on a high. Got a young squad, and you know, there's lots of learnings that's been there for us this year, and I think, you know, if we can get things going in these last 7 games, that'll put us in a good position to build for next year.
Pádraig Amond, thank you very much.
Thank you.